after the grief work. What do you need? So you've cried, you've tried journaling, you're reading all the books, you're coming to all the lives. And here's the real question. You're doing all of that. But the real question is, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to start doing your work? If it has been more than 6 months and you're still waking up in pain and you're still missing them and you're still thinking about them, then chances are it's probably time for you to start doing your work. We're avoiding hard memories. We don't want to go in that part in our heart that hurts so bad because it hurts so bad. Your story has not ended. Your grief story is not ended. It's just beginning. And I get that. Your grief story is just beginning, but there's a part of your grief story that needs to still be completed. And that's the part about the pain. There's a part of your grief story that still needs to be completed. And it is the part of the pain. I'm so glad you joined me for the live today. Because I have to start talking different. I have to start talking different to you. I have to go down into the deep mud with you. I have to jump in the pool with you and say, hey, girl, it's time. There's no more time for waiting. No more time for hoping that you can deal with this soon. A beautiful, beautiful lady last night asked me, but I just don't understand what happens after the pain. What happens after the pain? You know what happens after the pain? You start living. You go back to living. You're not frozen anymore. You're not frozen in time in the grief pain. It's time to be honest with yourself about where you are. It's time to be honest with yourself about what you need. It's time to be honest with yourself about doing the work. Because I need to tell you, removing the pain of grief is possible. Not removing your person. Removing the pain of grief from your heart is possible. It doesn't come to you. It's something you go after. It's something you have to go get. And if I'm telling you guys, if you just sit around and wait in time, like people are telling you to do, it's not coming. If you're just sitting around waiting for things to change, it's not coming. It absolutely is not coming. So again, I say, you've cried. You're probably still crying. And my heart to yours, if that is you. You've journaled. You stayed in bed. You ate all the things possible. You have drank all the wine that you had. You've talked to your friends. They keep turning away from you. They're not giving you what you need. You sat through the holidays in the worst possible pain. You even made it through his birthday, which I'm really proud of you for. I'm thoroughly proud of you. You made it through his birthday. You made it through the random Tuesday with nothing to do but sit and cry. Yet you're still hurting. You still feel broken. You're not sure what to do next. And yet the pain hasn't gone anywhere. It's still just sitting there. You can't even say his name. You can't even say his name because every time you say his name, your heart breaks. I sat with a beautiful lady yesterday and I said, what is your person's name? And she just started crying. It's hard for us to say their name in the beginning. The pain hasn't gone anywhere because you, my friends, have not done anything about it. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not trying to accuse you. I'm just letting you know. You are me. You are me. You are where I was. This is honestly not about what you've already been through, because what you've already been through was the worst possible experience. What you have already been through was the worst possible experience. What you have already been through is absolutely breaking you apart. It's absolutely breaking you down. And you are honestly thinking, I am going to be like this for the rest of my life. You're honestly thinking you're going to be like this for the rest of your life. But what have you done on this grief healing journey that absolutely is working for you? Thanks you, Suzanne. You're so beautiful. Thank you, Aida. What are you doing on this grief healing journey that is working for you? Thank you, Debbie. If you are still in this much pain, if you still feel broken, if you still feel like you can't even take a deep breath, it's not because of what you've done so far. It's because of all that you haven't done. There's still so much more to do on this grief healing journey. And it's not because you're doing the grief wrong. It's not because you haven't done the work yet. It's because you haven't done the deep work that is required of us. The deep work that is required of us to go down into our heart, look at what is missing, and really review it. Friends, and that's the hard work. I promise you this, the funeral is the worst. Planning the funeral is the worst. Sitting with a funeral director is absolutely the worst. Having to make the calls to tell people that he has died is the worst. I'm not kidding. I know that they're the worst. But right after you do all that, there's like this lull because the shock really takes over and the numbness takes over, and then that wears off. And as bad as you thought it is 100 times worse. Because having to come home to an empty house, having to wake up in an empty bed, having to go day in and day out without having your person there is absolutely the worst. But that's not how you were meant to live. You're not meant to live this way. The deep work, my friends, I know it is messy. I know grief work is uncomfortable. I know that you feel like it's actually going to lead to nowhere, but it does actually lead to healing. I promise you that. You've got to take a look at your person. You've got to take a look at them. You have to take a look at this relationship. I'm on the other phone and I don't know how to turn the camera around. Because normally there's 3 dots down here. I think this phone just doesn't have it. You've got to take a look at that relationship. You're going to take a look in your heart. This is the hard part. Looking into your heart, that's the hard part. Looking at how you two join together is the hard part. When you look at this, that's where we can find the grief pain. That's what we're going after. We're going after the grief pain. And a lot of it is in the relationship. Not a lot of it. All of it is in the relationship. All of it is in the relationship. All of the grief pain is in the relationship. And it truly depends on who he was and who you were. And who were you together? That's why I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know him. And I don't know you two together. I know myself. I know Austin. I know Sharon. I know who we were together. Becky said, what if the relationship wasn't what you wanted it to be and now you can't repair it? That's grief, Becky. That's it. That's 100% it. All of the things you wish were better. All of the things that you wish were better. All of the things you wish were different. all of the more you wanted, and all of the things you never got a chance to say. I never got a chance to repair this. I'm telling you, friends, when you have a relationship that was absolutely broken and your person dies and you don't get a chance to repair that, man, does that add a second layer onto the grief. We never got a chance to fix this. We ran out of time. It adds a second layer to the grief. You got to go after it. And here's where you go after it with true, raw honesty. With true, raw honesty, done and designed in a certain way. You're sitting around, you're waiting for things to get better, you're waiting to start feeling better, but your brain ain't letting you feel better because it keeps reminding you. It keeps reminding you of the parts that you were left incomplete. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for things to feel better. You're waiting for someone to come save you. No one is coming to save you. You've got to step on your grief healing journey. You have to take one step forward. I can take it over from there, but you got to step towards me. You've got to say, okay, Sharon, for this moment, I'm going to trust you. And you got to step towards me. You waiting for some magical sign? Boop, here it is. That's it. I'm not making a joke. I'm serious. That was your magical sign. You waiting for the sun and the moon to line up? They have. If you're waiting for someone to come in there with the one word that's going to make sense to you, that's going to move all of this, it doesn't exist, love. It doesn't exist. It is you. This grief is you doing some pencil to paper. I'm not kidding. It's pencil to paper. You're getting in. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to direct you. And you're going to put the pencil to paper and you're going to do the much needed hard work. And you're going to cry. Healing is not coming to find you. When your friends tell you, hey, just give it time, they don't mean just give it time and somebody named healing is coming. They're not coming. Nobody is talking about this part of grief. And I owe you all an apology because I haven't been talking about it either. I had this idea that I would build this community and that I would fill in the space with what grief really is. And then that would, you guys would see me and you would say, oh my gosh, she's the one I need. And then you guys would start walking this way. But that's not what happened. I've been on this app for a year. I've been building this for a year. I've got way over 10,000 people following me between all of the apps. And guess what? You guys are still just sitting at my feet, just listening to me talk. And that's done. I'm done with that. I'm here to tell you it's time to do the work. I'm here to tell you it's time to do the deep work. It's now or never. I've got till the end of the year to launch this thing and make it work. And so I got to tell you guys the truth. Most people don't want to talk about the grief. They're not wanting to talk about the pain. So they're just waiting for time to pass. And then they assume they're going to start feeling better. But I'm here to tell you, you're not going to start feeling better. It just gets quieter. You just get quieter. You've learned how to carry this grief outside. You've learned how to walk outside of your door, go to the shower, go to the wedding, and carry the grief by pretending. You've learned how to smile all the way through it. You're absolutely miserable. You're distracting yourself with your work. You're distracting yourself with your kids. You got a to-do list that's so big, you don't even know how you're going to manage it. And so you just keep distracting yourself with the to-do list. But here's the deal. Here's the thing that I know to be true. Inside, you are absolutely dying. Inside, your heart is absolutely broken. You haven't even figured out how to manage the daily chores that you need to do. What do you need today? What do you need today? Confront that thing. What is the one thing that you need to confront today? Too many women are sitting on the sideline just waiting to heal. Too many women are sitting on the sideline hoping that something will change for them. Debbie says, listening to the lives are so helpful, but the proof is that you need to do the work. Debbie's my friend. We met here. Amazing friend. Amazing sister. We've been doing some work together. Debbie brought something to my attention. Hey, Erica. She brought something to my attention, and it's a word that I'm using now. I love Debbie and Suzanne. They're giving me all the words. Shift. She said to me, I was on my walk the other day and I called her, and she said, there's been a shift. She absolutely felt a shift. There is a shift that you guys are looking for. There is a shift. And when you go after the grief, when you go after the much needed work, you feel this shift. I felt it lift. I felt like it lifted from me, but there's an absolute shift. You're not going to feel the shift while you're sitting on the couch crying. And I want you to sit on the couch crying. Don't stop doing that. You've got to process the grief. Hey, Pauline, you've got to process the grief. Pauline is another sister who's done a lot of work. She's gone after the much needed work. She went down into the mud and she did the work and she dug it out. So let's just, healing is a process. Yes, I agree with you. It takes time and energy. I want to make one correction to you, Celeste. What is the thing that we do within time? What is the thing we're doing within time? Time is going to happen. Time is going to move on its own. We cannot control the time. People keep telling us that it takes time, but it is what we do within time that makes a difference. What are you doing within your time that's going to make the difference? And I agree with you, Celeste. Celeste also says it takes the will to go on. It is not uncommon for us not to have that will. It is not uncommon for us to feel like I'm just going to sit right here and wait until it's my turn. There are a lot of people that come onto the grief healing journey and that's where they're at. They're like, I'm just going to sit here. And you do the work and that will lift for you. Sometimes you got to go after that too. Too many people, too many women are sitting in the pain, hoping that they will feel the shift. Just hoping that the shift will come. And I'm here to tell you that nothing will change until you decide to change it. Nothing is going to change until you decide to change it. I promise you. Nothing changes until you decide. You choose. Grievers have choices. Healing is a choice. Healing is a choice that you, the griever, makes. And it doesn't mean pretending that you're fine. It doesn't mean that you're forcing yourself to be over it or pretend that you're over it. It means that you understand that you've got to sit in the truth. You've got to face the grief. And the grief is the pain. The grief is the pain. I want to ask you a really important question. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for me to say the perfect thing that'll make the shift happen for you? Are you waiting for me to read from the book and then that's going to give you the answer? You guys, I have to tell you something because it's so stinking cute. But I have a granddaughter. Hold on one second, because Tony's not. Tony's not feeling well. He the twins got strep. He doesn't have strep, but poor thing, he got the sinus infection, and he's feeling really drained. He's feeling really drained. I want to tell you guys about Ever. Ever's my granddaughter who was born severely autistic. She was born on the spectrum at the highest level. They never thought she would talk. They honestly never thought she would talk. One day I'll play this video for you guys. She did start. Okay. So my daughter, one of the things that she did was she would let her watch YouTube videos, but they would always be on silent. She was letting her watch the YouTube videos on silent. Well, slowly but surely, she started to turn the volume up. One of the things that my daughter didn't realize is one of the videos that my granddaughter was watching was in Russian. So she would start talking in Russian. So that was really funny. They told us she was possibly never going to speak. They couldn't guarantee us that she would ever talk. She talks really well now. She's almost as tall as me. She'll be 11 years old this year. Cutest little thing. Her parents got a divorce. And if you know anything about autistic children, she's very melancholy. She's very black and white, period. That's it. That's all she is. She is on a mission to find out why her parents got a divorce. She's on a mission to find out why her parents got a divorce. And so she has been interviewing both of them. And she goes back and forth and she asks them questions. And finally, my daughter said to her the other day, she said, "Sweetie, I don't know what answer you're looking for. I don't know what you want. This is what happened." And she got to witness some things. So she does have her own part of the story she's filling in with. She goes, "I don't know what you're looking for. What can I help you with?" Because every time she goes to her dad, she comes back with more questions. And Ever said, "I don't know what I'm looking for either, but when I see it, I'll know it." I love that answer. There are a lot of us here that are looking for an answer and we don't know what it is. We just know that when we see it, we'll know it. You guys are coming into the lives, which I love. You're coming into the lives looking for something. And this is it. You've got to take a step towards me. You've got to take a step towards me and tell me, "Hey, Sharon, I need some help with this. Hey, Sharon, I need some help with this. I need to go after this much needed work. I need to do this grief work." Let me be direct with you as possible. And this is the answer I'm going to give you, the Ever answer. If you're waiting, are you waiting for the pain to go away on its own? Because it's not. The pain will go away when you make the decision to do the healing. I have many, many groups out here that I give back to the community. I have the Grief Study Hall. We have Honor Society. I have a private group called the Quiet Table. It's private. It's invite only. It's for women who have lost their husbands. It's a private group. I've never mentioned it before. I'm doing the lives. I have the private Facebook group. I have the grief healing group. I have the podcast since 2018. I have the book Grieve That Shit, which should be coming out very soon. I got my first set of edits back. Yuck. I feel like I'm in junior high all over again. Which are some great advice. I'm going to be making the edits, and my goal is to work on this as quickly as possible. So I have lots of things. We have a lot of things. We have the emotional reset. Tonight's the last night of the emotional reset. We've been talking about emotions and resetting those emotions. We do grief support groups. I'm doing all the things, but not one of those is the Forever Changed Grief Healing Program. Not one of them is those. I want to tell you guys a story. It's part of a story that you already know. In 2006, Austin drowned at the lake. In 2006, when Austin drowned at the lake, and I went to see my sister, and I will never forget that face as long as I live, those two big old eyes that were looking back at me. And all she was saying was, please give me good news. And I said, baby, sweetie, honey, I'm so sorry. Austin drowned. She said that I said, in her version, I said, honey, I'm so sorry. She says that I said they found him. You guys, hold on one second. Hold on one second. This is my mom. Hey, Loretta.
Hey, Sharon.
I'm on live. Can I call you right back? Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything is okay.
I'm going to call you back when I'm done at 45 minutes.
Okay.
Bye.
No.
I said, hey, Loretta. She said, hey, Sharon. She said that I said, honey, I'm so sorry. They found him. And all she heard was they found him. And she said there was a pause. And then I said, he drowned. Her eyes were big. I will never forget that because she came around the door. She came around the door like that. I had to answer that because she called twice. When she came around the door, I mean, her face just was looking for hope. I went on a mission to find out everything I could about grief. When we got to our first class, our grief specialist's name was Susan. Susan was the sweetest woman in the world. And I know when I first started the emotional reset, I was really nervous that night. And I know that Susan was really nervous. I was thinking about this today on my walk. She was really nervous. Her sister died of a massive heart attack when she was 36 years old. Her sister died at 36 years old of a massive heart attack. I can't even begin to understand what that was like. You have a sister who is 36 years old and dies of a massive heart attack? That doesn't even seem right. That doesn't even make sense. But she had done her much needed work. And she was the one who guided Erica and I. And when I tell you guys, I fought with this chick all the way, she probably was like, no. But she hung in there with me. Because when I walked into her class, I didn't come there to heal myself. I was holding up Erica and I was like, here's my sister. Her name is Erica. Her son died. Can you help her? That's what I did. I was like, can you help her? And we sat in that program for 12 weeks. There were about 26 or 27 of us. She separated us because Erica and I could not do our work together. She separated everyone because Erica was grieving her child. I was grieving my nephew. When I sat in that class, some of you have heard me tell this story before. When I sat in that class, Celeste, that's not the end of my story. I have other losses and I'll share with you in a minute. When I sat in that class with her, it was the first time she went around the room and asked us why we were there. It was the first time that she went around the room and asked us why we were there. And that was the first question. And each person got to tell their story. And when she got to me, I realized it was the first time I'd ever told my own story. Because everything always went through Erica. Erica was my sister. Erica lost her child. Everything was about Erica. I was helping Erica. I was doing everything for Erica. That was my job. I was here for Erica. When that lady said to me, what are you doing here? You guys, when I tell you the blood drained from my entire body, because I realized nobody had ever asked me about me. No one had ever asked me about my own grief. People would say things to me like, how's Erica? How are the kids? How's the family? People weren't saying, hey, Sharon, how's your grief? Part of why I think I resisted working with her, it didn't matter. I stayed in there and I worked and I did the much needed work and I cried and I fought and I yelled and I screamed. Leslie was my partner. I'll never forget. My partner's name was Leslie. Leslie was grieving her mom, and I was grieving Austin. It shifted for me then. My grief shifted. The day after we finished our work was the biggest shift for me. I woke up in the morning. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to tell you, it doesn't happen that way for everyone. It just happened that way for me. And I called Erica because I was like, what the hell? Like I could literally feel the pain was out. I could feel like someone had taken the knife, the pain that I woke up with every single morning since the day that Austin died. I woke up with that pain in my heart every single morning. But that day, that pain was gone. I was shocked as hell. And I called Erica and I was like, hey, girl, what are you doing? And we started talking. And I remember that when I started to talk about the grief work, I actually lowered my voice because I didn't want to say, I feel better. I'm over your son. That's what I felt like it was going to sound like. That's not what it sounded like, but that's what I felt like how she was going to perceive it. So I said, hey, I think that thing worked. She said, the grief healing? Hell yeah, it worked. She yelled it at the top of her lungs. And the very next word out of my mouth was, oh my God, Erica, we have to help women. There are women out there like us that don't know what to do. And that, my friends, was 18 years ago. We just celebrated the 19th anniversary. We just celebrated the 19th anniversary of Austin's death on Tuesday. Erica and I went and got certified. We started doing the much needed work. Our first seminar was one woman in our home, and she was pregnant. She was grieving her dad. It's beautiful. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to feel better? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting to feel better? Are you waiting for the shift to just happen? It's not going to happen. You got to get the pen to paper. That's why I named this the Grief School. I'm going to take you back to school and I'm going to teach you what grief is. I'm going to teach you where society missed the mark. Why they have lied to us. Why they are telling us to just give it time. You won't just feel the shift waiting on your own. Healing doesn't begin with readiness. It begins with a decision made by you, the griever. A decision to do the work even when it hurts. A decision to stop waiting for grief to ease up, to waiting for the moon and the sun to line up, waiting until you lose 30 pounds. That's not when it works. You're already stronger than you know, and the strength is going to come from within. Surviving is not healing. Surviving is not healing. You don't survive the worst day of your life, the day you got that phone call, by just staying stuck in it forever. The world has lied to you when they told you you will always feel this way. Why, Becky? Becky says, I feel like I don't deserve to feel better. Why? So you're punishing yourself? Becky, I promise you this. We all deserve to live. We all deserve to live. But more than that, we absolutely deserve to go and look at what is broken and what is incomplete in our heart. What is left unfinished? What are the parts that have been left unfinished in our heart? We deserve that. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this, Becky. Doing the work is tough. It is tough. You guys, I'm not giving you sunshine and roses here. Becky, if you haven't done so, go to the link in my bio. Click on the link that says click here for hope. And I want you to download Erica's book. It just is a link that says Erica's book. Erica lost Austin and Donovan. Austin and Donovan were my nephews. And she writes about that. I want you to take a look at that book. She writes about both of them and how hard that it was. Hold on, I wanted to read. Suzanne says, you've got to dig down deep into this pain. And you've got to work through it inch by inch to reach the real healing. And some days you're going to come and you're going to absolutely cry. And some days you're going to come and you're going to be laughing. And some days you're not going to want to come. I actually think most days you're not going to want to come. Here's what we need in time. We need action steps in time. What action steps are you doing for your broken heart within time? Grief is not something you just have to live with for the rest of your life. That is not true. The truth is, the grief, the pain can be removed from your heart. Not by accident. And certainly not by waiting. I want to be honest with you guys. Most people I work with are not new to grief. They've been on the grief healing journey for a while. They are women who have been in this for months. Some of them have even been in this for years. They are women who have been listening to my podcast, who've been showing up to the lives, who've been trying to move the grief on their own, who've been doing all the reading they can. And every time they get a book, they run to the back of the book. Every time they get a book, they run to the back of the book, hoping that the answer will be there. Oh, this is how I heal. They run to the back thinking that they're going to find the answer there. If you're a woman who's tired of being tired, if you're a woman who's tired of being in pain, if you're a woman who is emotionally exhausted, but you don't know how to get out of this cycle, then my program is for you. This is what I hear the most. I thought it was just going to go away. I thought I was going to be like this for the rest of my life. I thought this is the way. I'm a griever now, and I'm just becoming a member of this club, and this is my new normal. Eric and I absolutely hate the word the new normal because there's no such thing. It is a new normal, but your new normal doesn't say, and this equals you will live in pain for the rest of your life. Your new normal is living. Your new normal is living without them. Your new normal is that you will miss them. Absolutely. There's nothing that I can do about that. Your heart has been ripped out and shattered into pieces. You and I are going to glue those pieces back together. You are going to live in your new normal, but it's not going to be the same. Some of you have been able to touch the surface of the pain, but you haven't been able to get all the way down to the bottom layer. You've been doing what the world has told you. Stay busy, keep busy, move forward, cry. And that's actually working. It is working for you, but you haven't been able to get to the bottom. And I get that. Here's why I get it. Because no one has taught you how to do this grief thing. No one has taught you how to do this. No one showed you what true healing looks like. I'm what true healing looks like. It doesn't mean you're going to have no hair. I am what true healing looks like. Here's my life, guys. I am married to my best friend. His name is Tony. Tony and I are 17 years apart. He's 80 years old. He's retired. Most people think he's around my age, around 60. He and I work on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he and I go out shooting our guns. We go out. This is something that I took up for him. It was on my bucket. Here's the deal. I want to tell you guys this. On my bucket list was that I wanted to shoot a gun, not that I wanted to be a sharpshooter. But when Tony retired and he started to get bored, I decided to pick up the gun thing to give him something to do. And so most days, Tony is cleaning my gun, getting it ready. And on Friday, we go out and shoot. We go out to dinner. We go to the movies. We go out on Saturday. If you guys can hear them right now, we have a set of 3-year-old twins that live upstairs but think they live downstairs. So they're always at our house. So we have the twins that keep us busy. We travel. We love road trips. My mother has newly been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and so we've been out there 2 times already this year. We'll make a third trip there. We drive. We love road trips. On the road trip back, this time we decided to make it a 3-day stay over instead of a 2, and so we stayed over different places in Texas that we absolutely love. We stayed in Arizona. We stayed with our son. We're living our best life. We're living our best life. Erica lives about 45 minutes from me. We see her. We hang out with her. I'll be there for the 4th of July. July 2nd will be the anniversary. Will be the 11th anniversary for Donovan's death on July 2nd. July 4th, we will all get together. We will absolutely talk about Austin and Donovan on that weekend. We will be hanging out. The boys will come up. We'll play songs that they loved. We'll talk about that. We'll eat their food. People will drop their names. Tony will be with me. That's our life. This is our life now. Our boys are with us. They are with us. We talk about them. We share about them. We absolutely talk about our dad. Our dad is amazing. Was amazing. He always yelled about how much seasoning you put on your food. My dad was from Louisiana, and he loved cooking. And that goes with us everywhere we go. Do we cry? Yes, sometimes we still cry. It is few and far between, but there are times that we absolutely cry. Do I miss them? Do I wish they were here? Yes. Yes. Today, you guys, this morning I was on my walk. I've been walking. If you guys are just meeting me, I had a heart attack in April of last year. And so I just finished cardiac rehab for the 3rd time. I have had really bad angina, but I finished this cardiac rehab. And so I've started walking. It seems to have really worked with the angina. So I'm walking this morning, and a red cardinal, Debbie, a red cardinal flew out of the bush right in front of me and scared the shit out of me. A red cardinal flew out, and I was actually thinking about my life today, what I was going to talk about. And I literally said to the cardinal, "Damn, Sharon, you scared the shit out of me." And then I just laughed. It was so funny. Anyway, I make myself laugh. You guys don't have to laugh at my jokes. I laugh at my own jokes. Here's the deal. I'm living my best life. It is not the life that I would have picked. I would have picked for Sharon and I to still be together. I was showing this picture yesterday. This is Sharon and I. I would have picked for Sharon and I to still be together. For her and I to still be best friends. We were actually at a baby shower here, and somebody made me laugh. And they gave me this photo. And one of Sharon's other really good friends, and my friends as well, put this in a frame and sent it to me last year. I would have wished for Sharon to be here. I would have wished for her to be here while I'm building this business. She always had great ideas. She would have been on my podcast. You guys would have met her. She would be in my lives. You would have met her. You would have known her. You would have known her as my best friend. No doubt in my mind, she would have been a part of it. She would have been a part of me. But now she's become a part of my grief healing journey. And I will miss that woman for the rest of my life. And there are many times that I reach out for her. I look up and I'm like, I need you. I need you. I get it, friends. I get where you are. No one has taught you how to grieve until now. No one has taught you how to do this. And I'm here with a message that no one is saying. I cracked the code on how to do this. I didn't crack it through one program. I'm certified in multiple programs, and I've taken out of those the things that absolutely work. No one is showing you what healing really looks like. I am what healing looks like. Here's the other part of the healing that I want you to know. I still have cellulite. My ass is still fat. I still have to go to the grocery store. I still have to pay my bills. Tony and I still fight from time to time. Brittany asked me to babysit 3-year-olds when I'm tired. That's my life. My life is still my life. I didn't say, I'm going to help you heal your life and make it perfect, and you're going to live on the island of happiness, and you're going to have mimosas every day, and you're going to have the perfect tan, and you're going to be skinny, and your hair is going to look perfect. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that pain that's holding you back, that pain that you're using, Miss Becky, as a weapon against yourself, that pain, that's the pain I want to help you with. Here's what healing looks like. It looks like making space to talk about the things that shattered you. It looks like sitting with the memories you still feel like you don't want to go into anymore. The memories, when you look at them, they're like a dagger in your heart. I want to remove that dagger and help it soften the edges. It looks like acknowledging every emotion you have without pushing it down. It looks like allowing in the rage, the guilt, the shame, the brokenness, the fear, letting them come to the surface, letting me take a look at them with you so that we can examine them. It looks like leaning into the pain, not pushing back against it. It looks like you're walking through the pain all the way through. The weight of the heaviness on your chest will feel lighter. That's what the work is. That is the process. That is the process, is to move this pain. And that's what we do inside of Forever Changed. So friends, I'm going to be around a lot on lives for the next few months. I'm going to be around a lot on live. I'm going to be teaching. My program is shifting. My community is going to shift. I have a new manager, and they're shifting my program. And so I'm going to be announcing some of that soon. But I want to talk to you guys about July 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, and the 28th. The 28th will be on Zoom, Thursday evening to Sunday afternoon. It will be 4 of the most powerful days of guided grief work. Thursday night, we're going to have a welcome circle. I just want to welcome you in. I want to welcome you in to connect with other grievers. Thursday night is the night we're going to do the biggest part of the grief share. Thursday night's the part I'm going to lay out for you to do the grief share. Why do I do it that way? I do it that way for a specific reason. You're nervous. You're anxious. You want to tell your story. For some of you that come in, you've never told your story. You've never told your story to anyone. So it's done in a specific way, but that night we're going to be telling our grief story. I have it set up for telling the grief story from 6 to 10. I'm going to open the room around 4 so we can meet and greet and get our supplies, all the things we need. Starting Saturday morning, you will absolutely start with teaching. The hotel provides a breakfast. I'm opening the room at 8 o'clock. This is in Dallas, Texas, guys. I'm going to open the room at 8 a.m. so you can bring your breakfast in and we can hang out. There will be a VIP portion where you will just be able to be with either Erica or myself, and or both. On day 1, we start doing the work. Erica, my sister Erica, and myself are doing the teaching. This was our program before COVID, and we are just now getting back to our program. We have a structured path of how you're going to release the pain. There will also be someone else in there in case you get stuck. Sheila will be there and she will be there to help you. You're going to be given the book, the healing book. You'll have the breakfast. We're going to do box lunch. I'm calling it box lunch because I don't know what else to call it. For everyone who purchased the grief healing program, from day one that you purchase, you will be given Processing the Pain of Grief. Processing the Pain of Grief is the program that Erica and I created after Donovan died. This was the original Processing the Pain of Grief book. I just found it the other day. And it was so cool. The new one is based on this, but it is so much deeper. We have actually gone back and redone it, and it's grown. You're going to be given that program. That program is I sell it for $597. You'll have lifetime access to the modules and the videos and the workbook. The reason I'm giving you Processing the Pain of Grief is because I want you to start processing the pain of grief before you come to Grief Healing, the Forever Change program. I want you to start going through that before you get there. I want you to start having a place to meet. You're already going to have a place to meet. We meet in Honor Society on Thursdays from 4 to 6. I'm going to also, that's going to float also, but I'm going to work on that. Who is this for? This program is specifically for women who are tired of surviving, who are actually ready to heal. It's for the women who feel stuck, the women who feel heavy, the women who feel like their life has been stolen from them, the women who are using their grief as a weapon against themselves. That's who this is for. Women who want real guidance, women who want a path forward, not just support. Click on the link in my bio. Click on the link that says "Click here for hope" and get on the wait list. Jovi, my assistant, will be back on Monday, and Monday night you guys will have all of the information for the grief healing. The program, my friends, the program is $1,497. Processing the Pain of Grief, the $597 program will be included in that. There's a payment plan. There's, I'm giving out scholarships. There will be a scholarship program, which I'll be launching on Monday. There will be 4 scholarships given out, and you can apply for the scholarship. I want you to hear me when I say this. If money is an issue, do not come because of the money. Reach out to me personally, and let's see what we can set up. Here are the results you're going to leave with. You're going to leave with a lighter heart. You're going to leave with a clear process for continuing your grief work. You're going to leave with a deeper connection to your person without drowning in the pain. You're going to be restored a sense of self and hope. You're going to leave with a community, a connection, and you're going to know the very next steps of what you have to do. You don't end the weekend and then you're just gone. You're in the community. You're in the community with me for as long as you need to. Friends, I'm so honored to bring this program to you. I am so honored to bring it to you, to change the lives that need to be changed. And here's the deal. I got to start talking about it. I can't just expect that you guys are going to understand it and understand this. The Forever Change Grief Intensive, and hear me out, it is not a grief retreat. You've never heard me say the word retreat. And if you have, it was by accident. It is a grief healing intensive, meaning we are working from morning till night. We're going after the brokenness in your heart. It is designed to walk you through everything that the world has never taught you about grief. It is a safe, a powerful place, a place of healing, not just a place that you'll possibly have a great time at. Because I'm bringing every box of Kleenex I got. Women just like you everywhere are stepping onto the grief healing journey, and they're stepping out changed. They're lighter, they're clearer, they have more peace. They can breathe again. They're laughing, they're telling stories, and they're telling stories of their person. Okay. Debbie says, I envy all the women who will be attending the program. Sharon, go to the link in my bio and just get on that wait list, and it will be out Monday. Here's what happened. I am such a nutcase. I launched this, and my assistant went on vacation, and we didn't have everything completed. So I take full responsibility. Oh, Celeste says, I'm in Texas as well. Where are you, Celeste? That's Ashton's birthday? Wow. Wow. Suzanne says, life is different now. I'm dramatically different now. I love and miss each of them without the pain. I want to tell you guys something about Suzanne. I think she'll be okay with me sharing this. Suzanne came into the grief. Suzanne started chiming in on my lives. She started chiming in on my lives, and I just knew, I just connected to her. And she decided to take the first program, and that's when I first met her. We took a small program, I think, Processing the Pain of Grief. She's been an amazing sister. And when she came to do the grief work on her partner, and when we got into the program, we saw other things. I was like, hey, sister, this is some other stuff we need to work on. And we did it. She was open. She was open. And she did a little bit of work at a time. And I'm the one who sat in honor as I sat at her feet while she did the work. This lady did everything I asked her. She did everything I asked her, a little bit at a time. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Sharon says, today is hard for no particular reason. Sharon, it's a thought. There is a thought in there about the grief. There's a thought in there. It's probably something you thought right in the morning when you woke up. You may have not even heard yourself say it. It may have whispered in the back of your mind. Celeste said, you absolutely deserve to feel better, Becky. It's about you as well. Many people think that if they're feeling a little better from coming to the lies, that they are okay. Oh, Becky downloaded Erica's book. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad. I don't know what pew pew means. Hold on one second. Is it connected to something else you said? Let me check. I lost my mother 3 days ago. My heart to yours, Miss Celeste. Truly my heart to yours. Truly my heart to yours. I can't even imagine what that's like. Gary says, I like your lives. Crystal says, hi, Sharon, I'm back. I love my mommy 1 week and 2 days ago. I think you mean lost. I received the advice to honor her. Yes. Yes. Crystal, I actually have to take my own advice. And Debbie's been challenging me on this. My mom, I got to have a beautiful relationship with my dad, a conversation with my dad before he died. And I'm going to do that with my mom, but I want to do it face to face. I don't want to just do it on the phone. I may say some things on the phone just so that I do have it covered, but I really want to say it face to face. And especially now while she still has the cognitive understanding. Yes, Crystal, my heart to yours, my love. to honor her. Yes, I remember that. Truly, my heart to yours. Sharon said she lost her son in March. March, April, May, June. Yes, just a short time, my love. Just a short time. Aida says it's gotten better since she's been here. I love that, Aida. Donnelly said she just lost her mom in January. My heart to you. Honoring my mother is what's most important to me right now. Absolutely. Debbie says Suzanne is my inspiration. Divorce, kids, decor. I left a year ago. So later he was diagnosed with cancers and my feelings are mixed. Diverse kids, decor. Okay. Hey mama. She said, I left a year or so later, he was diagnosed with cancer. You're still going to grieve. I don't know where your relationship is. Now, if he's still alive and you're not sure what to do, it's a grieving experience. If God decides that it's time for him to go, that is going to be a grieving experience. We can grieve anyone that we love or hate, living or deceased. I want to say that again. You can do your grief work on anyone that you love, anyone that you hate, anyone that you have a tumultuous relationship with, and anyone still alive. All of those things are places that you can do your grief healing. There are 47 or more known losses that cause grief in our heart. Death is just the first one that they always attach grief to. Death, divorce, breakup of a romantic relationship, loss of a fur baby, loss of a job, foreclosure, financial changes. What about the secondary losses that happen just under that? My husband died. Now I have to sell the home. I can't live here anymore. This has been my dream home. I have to sell my dream home because I can no longer afford to live here. That is a secondary loss. It is an absolute secondary loss. EK says, I've been coming for just a couple of weeks and the space is so helpful. I'm so honored you're here, EK. Truly. So glad that you're here. You all make a difference. Friends, sometimes you'll come into the grief healing for your person you lost. You'll come in to do your work on Austin, which was the person that you lost. And absolutely, when you get in there, you realize, wow, I have a loss from the 3rd grade when I was being bullied that I never dealt with. And those same kids ended up coming to my new high school and they continued on the bullying. Or maybe it was one girl who said so many things. Those are grieving experiences that take place in your heart. Maybe you're being bullied by your boss. I don't know what the grief is for you, but I know that you have to go after this grief pain. You 100% have to go after it. You have to move the grief pain, and it is possible. EK says, yes, my person is still alive, but our relationship is a hard loss. Hear me out, friends. Anything that feels sad, heavy, broken, incomplete, things you want to say but you can't say, never feeling heard, all of those things in your heart is grief. All of those things in your heart is grief. What would it feel like to grieve someone who is still alive? What will it look like to grieve someone who is still alive? I've grieved many people that are still alive. It looks like you walk in the room and when they start telling you how fat you look, you just look at them because they no longer have the heartstring to pull at your heart. You're like, that's her. And you just move on. It also looks like, I just realized I never really liked her. I've been fighting for a relationship from a person that I really don't even like. I've been in this relationship with this girl and I just don't even care for her. I'm done with this relationship. You might find when you grieve someone who's alive that they're not your person. Sometimes people come in here to do the grief work and they think I'm going to say, hey, you do your grief work and it'll mend your relationship. It doesn't always do that. Mary, Miss Mary. I love that. Mary said, this explains a lot why my first 40 years in constant grieving. Yes. What if we had a tumultuous relationship with our parents? What if we had a traumatic childhood? Most of the time, and I will tell you, 99.9999, a traumatic childhood will attach itself to your current grieving experience. If you do not go after that traumatic childhood, your grief will linger on. Loss from your childhood will be in there. Friends, when I went in to do my grief work, it was evidently clear to my grief specialist, to myself, and to my partner that I needed to do the grief work on my mom. I needed to do grief work on my mom. And my grief specialist actually said to me, because you, the griever, ultimately have the say on how I give you the program and you get to say what relationships you're going to work on and in what order. I do try to guide you, but you have the say. And she walked over to me and she's like, Sharon, you need to grieve your mom. You need to grieve your relationship with your mom. And I looked at her with tears in my eyes. I remember I was sitting on a couch. She was standing up and tears were coming down my eyes because for the first time, I realized I needed to do some grief work on my mom. My mother is still alive. She's the one that I just answered the phone for. I answered the phone because she called me twice. And I was just crying. And I said, I know, but I have to do my grief work on Austin. I have to get this pain out of my heart if there's ever a way. And that's what I did. I did my grief work on Austin. And the very next relationship I did was my mom. And it changed my relationship with her for the better. It changed my relationship with her. She didn't change. My heart and my brain about her changed. I'm realizing this after losing my 19-year-old son. My heart to yours, good Lizzie. Aida says, Mary, I'm thinking the very same thing. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing to me that there are some very powerful heavy hitters out there guiding people in grief, names that you will know if I say their names out loud, and they are still telling you that you're going to be like this for the rest of your life. It is a lie, and I don't want you to buy into the lie. My mother was recently placed on hospice, and we got the hospice books, right? And so part of the hospice, my mom being placed on hospice, is that I had to meet with a social worker. And this is what led me to know that I need to have this conversation with my mom. I'm so glad that I did meet with a social worker. And she was like, hey, I Googled you and I see that you're a grief specialist and, all the things. And she said, in the midst of our talking, one of the questions she asked me is, do you have a funeral home picked out for your mom? And my mother is not, how do I say this? She's on hospice, but I don't think she's going to die in 6 months. I don't think so. I don't know God's plan, but I don't think she's going to die in 6 months. But she qualified for hospice based on other things, not just her Alzheimer's. She qualified based on her heart, her pulmonary hypertension, and her coronary artery disease. And she said, do you have a funeral home? And when she said that, I was like, oh, this is real. Because in the beginning, I think I was just thinking, I'm setting my mom up for nursing care. But this is real. She's like, do you have a funeral home picked out for her? I'm like, oh. And that's what got the ball spinning. And it really touched my heart. And that's where I shared with you guys. And Debbie has been holding me accountable for that. Have you had talked to your mom yet? And I'm going to talk to my mom. Friends, What do I mean by talking to my mom? I'm going to grieve in real time with my mom. I call it grieving in real time. I'm going to tell her how important she was to me, how honored I was to be on this journey with her, how she absolutely drove me crazy. No, I'm not going to tell her that. That I love her and thank her for being a huge part of my life, a huge part of my life, my whole life, my world. I'm going to thank her. Thank her for loving my children. Thank her for loving my grandchildren. I'm just going to have a really deep conversation with her while she's still got some cognitive understanding. So the social worker says to me, well, you and I both know that grief lasts forever. No, girl, I don't know that. No, I don't know that. That is not true. She is a social worker at a hospice, meeting people day in and day out, and that's what she's telling them. That's what the world is telling you. Grief is pain. The pain comes from your love because you love them. The pain can also come from your hate. So I don't want just you to think that you can't grieve somebody that you hated or that you had a tumultuous relationship with. We grieve all the relationships, friends, living or deceased. And for her to say that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's saying that. What if I wasn't a grief specialist? I would have believed her. What if I were one of you? I would have believed her. I would have believed that what she was saying was true, and it's not true. Mrs. Toad, thank you. Okay, you guys' names are just so cute. I gotta come up with a cute name. Just like that. I love Mary, Miss Mary. I love it. Okay. There are people out here in this world that are giving us wrong messages. They're telling us things about grief that are absolutely not true. They're telling us that we're going to feel like this for the rest of our life. Friends, I want you to know this. I lost Austin. I lost Donovan. I lost two best friends. I lost my dad and I lost Sharon. And I am not currently actively grieving for any of them. I am not. I'm starting to do some grief work for my mom regarding her diagnosis and the current situation. It's just starting. And I will continue to do it all the way through. But the first part for me is to really have this conversation. Because if you guys have been here before, when you have someone like my mom who has been given a life-altering diagnosis, the grief actually happens in stages. So she got the diagnosis. This was the first time we grieved. I just put her on the hospice program. So now putting her on hospice, this is where we're at. I think I told you guys this the other day, but I was in her jewelry box because she lost her necklace. She lost a gold necklace that she wears with a cross every single day. She lost it and she was trying to convince me that the dentist took it off while she was having her teeth cleaned and stole it. Anyway, so I went into her jewelry box and I pulled out a ring that she's supposed to give to my sister, Yolanda. And I said, what is this ring doing in here? And she walked over and in the cutest face, she goes, I've never seen that ring before. And it's a huge diamond ring. So it hasn't happened to me yet that I walked in and she didn't know me, but just even not knowing that ring, not recognizing that ring, not recognizing the story of the ring, is part of the grief. So I will continue to do my grief work every time we drop to a new normal, right? Every drop is going to be some grief work. Ms. Toad said social workers are only as good as the band. The band new expert therapies they are taught. I agree with you 100%. I have two therapists in my program right now, and neither one of them were taught what I teach. They were taught the 5 stages. I know. I'm not, Debbie. I'm not. I promise you. I'm not. Social workers, yes. So, and this is the truth. I am absolutely hopeful that she and I will have other conversations. She did want to listen to my podcast. She is going to hear my podcast. She is going to follow me on social media. She is following me here, and we are going to talk. And I think that that is going to make a big difference. That I'll be able to share some of the things that I have learned along the way with her, and hopefully she'll share some of the things that she has learned with me. Right? Which I think is going to be amazingly beautiful for both of us. For both of us. Do I think that I'm at the end of learning about grief? No, because every day you guys come in here and you teach me something different. Every single one of your experiences, believe it or not, are adding to my grief training. Debbie just said the other day, a shift. It's not a word I've been using, and now I'm using the word shift. Suzanne said, she said she was sick of the word first and anniversaries. She's like, we got to come up. You're brand new. Yes. We've got to come up with another word for anniversaries. We can't just use anniversaries. And she said, she came up with milestones, and now we're using milestones. So I'm learning from you guys as well. Listen, every single loss that you have, every person that you lose, there's a different idiosyncrasies to each loss. And as I help you with those differences, it helps me help the next person. And you are helping the next person. When you share your story, you help the next person. It works both ways, friends. It works both ways. Okay, guys, I got to jump off. Tony is sick. He has a sinus infection, and we've got to get some medication into him. So I'm going to jump off. I will be back on tonight. Everybody in Honor Society, look for a message from me. Look for a message. I'm going to text you right now. Look for a message from me. The truth is, I'm going to probably cancel because of the emotional reset. If you'd like to join me for the emotional reset, click the link in the bio that says click here for hope. There you can sign up for the emotional reset. Follow me here. Sign up for the wait list for the grief healing program. It is the end of July. It is going to be amazing. Erica's going to be there. We will be doing some more lives with Erica so she can talk about her portion that she plays. Yes, EK, I'll see you tonight. You are very welcome. I love you all. I see you all. I am you. And we're going to work through this together. I promise you. I promise you. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. Thank you so much.